Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're about to look at this video. 3 weird European habits that help me lose 20 pounds. Now, I need to watch this because I'm in Europe and I need to lose like 20 pounds right now. I gained some weight in the COVID. I think I gained like 20 pounds and I need to lose it. So let me see if I can follow her directions because I'm in Europe right now. So let's see if I can follow her directions and lose 20 pounds real quick. But anyway, man, this should be an interesting video. As always, if you're new to the channel, let me know where you're chiming in from. Even if you're not new, let me know where you're chiming in from. Which country you're in, which city, state. If it's in the States, let's get to it. But anyway, let's go check out this video and see if we can get some tips.
Fine, and don't obsess over the gym. Yet half of Europe is thinner than the fittest US state. The even more surprising part? Most of these countries aren't even following the famous Mediterranean diet, which the US media promotes endlessly as the ultimate healthy diet. Neither do Europeans hit the gym more often than Americans. Clearly, something bigger than diet or exercise is going on. Or rather, something weirder. These habits get accidentally adopted by Americans who move to Europe, causing them to lose weight without even realizing how.
I drank copious amounts of wine and beer, and without really keeping track of my weight, one day I decided to take a photo and see how it compared with my US days, and the results were shocking.
These habits don't just cause weight loss, they've caused what appears to be reverse aging in Americans after they move to Europe. Watch out, Brian Johnson.
Damn.
I lost weight while living in the US. My full-time job is coaching others to lose weight, and I've lived in Europe for the past 2 years. And I can tell you, there's one root habit shaping this reality. The eating and walking habits people fixate on, they're just symptoms. This is why even if the Mediterranean diet or Norwegian diet or whatever is mass adopted in the US, it won't make a difference because you can't fix something by mimicking the symptoms. You need to start at the root. And you guessed it, the root lies in the quirks Americans notice in Europe. Put on your detective hat. Can you spot the common thread in these quirky US versus Europe stories? When I first got to Portugal, I'd walk around with a drink in hand, sometimes even having my lunch on the go. I felt so productive, knocking out 2 tasks at the same time, but I noticed people kept giving me weird looks. Turns out nobody in Europe walks and eats. Meals last 1.5 to 3 hours, even during workdays. Not because they're eating more, but because they're pacing themselves for conversation. Same thing with drinks. In Seattle, nights out meant slamming drinks. Europe, people nurse their drinks for hours. The goal isn't to drink, it's to talk. And it's not just
Socialize.
This slow, steady mindset applies to everything, including work. We have all heard Europeans get 6 weeks of vacation. True, but it's more than just about vacations. It's a daily thing. Whenever I meet new people in Europe, nobody ever asks me, what do you do? In the US, that's the first thing people want to know because everyone in the US feels like they're in a high-stakes Shondaland TV drama, guzzling coffee and burning both ends on the candle. In Europe, work is just one part of life, like going to a cafe. There's no urgency, no drama. While life in the US is go big or go home, a life of extremes. That's why the US is increasingly split into 2 classes of people. Those who are overweight and those who are highly trained. The middle class, people who are moderately fit and eat well without obsessing, is disappearing. So the root change we must start with isn't food or exercise. It's shifting our mindset from dramatic, high-stakes sprints to steady, consistent marches. Meaning you commit to no longer pendulum swinging between being on a diet or completely off the rails. Meal prepping with military precision or binging on takeout when life gets busy, then doing hardcore workouts as punishment for the binge. Instead, you do what Europeans do. They don't diet. They don't start and stop. They just exist in a steady rhythm. And that's the shift that changed everything for me. What this means is following one simple rule. I can only change 1 to 3 habits max at a time. The change must be a one-step shift from my current habits. And I do not change or add habits until my fat loss has been stuck for 1 month straight. This is the weight loss equivalent of steady, consistent marches. No overdoing, no underdoing. So what are these 1 to 3 habit changes? Nutrition is 80% of weight loss, and it is the biggest difference in how Europeans approach health compared to Americans. Like, I have many friends here in Europe who have lost weight, and when I ask them what they did, none bring up keto, intermittent fasting, or any diet. This was surprising to me because in the US, the first thing anyone losing weight credits is some sort of diet. So what did my European friends eat to lose weight? Starting at the root for nutrition, the why or mindset, is if you love food, eat like you love food. Europeans eat real butter, full-fat cheese, and croissants without guilt. They don't eat with a restrictive mentality where even as you're digging into that croissant, every bite is taken with guilt. Because guess what happens when you eat with guilt? You don't enjoy it. You're never satisfied, so you keep eating more and more, chasing satisfaction, which ironically becomes harder and harder to achieve because the more...
Please leave a one in the comment section if you have ever eaten with guilt. I tell you, when I get to talking to myself, yeah, I'm gonna lose this weight, then I might order some dessert and eat that dessert. I'm like, ooh, man, I shouldn't be doing it, but it tastes good. I shouldn't be doing it, but it tastes good. That sugar, I need that sugar. Well, I'm telling you, that guilt is true what she's saying.
The more you eat, the worse you're feeling. You're not actually loving food. Compare that to if you eat that croissant without guilt. You're actually going to feel satisfied. So does this mean you eat whatever you want? Yes and no. From the why flows the what you eat. Because if you love food, eat real food that nourishes your body. On average, 14% of Europeans' diet comes from ultra-processed foods, compared to 60% in the US. But how do we apply the one-step shift rule to this? As 60% to 14% is a huge change. Most junk and sweets we eat tend to be out of cravings, not hunger. So if we reduce the number of times we give into cravings, the amount of junk we eat will also go down. We do this using the point and call system, where before you eat or drink each serving, say in your head, I'm about to eat food out of hunger or cravings. Then if you ate it, record that by upping the count for cravings eating or hunger eating in your notes app. Set a goal to reduce the count of cravings eating by 1 per day for next 7 days. If you lose fat at your 7-day check-in, stick to the same count the next week. Use the body fat tracker linked in the description below to distinguish fat loss from weight loss. If you didn't lose fat, then set the goal to 1 less craving eating for next 7 days and repeat this process weekly. But what if you have tons of cravings each day? Which, sure, you can resist at the start, but you know the novelty will wear off till you give more and more into your cravings. This is where the when part comes in from the Europeans. By and large, they don't snack. They tend to eat at set meal times and do mini intermittent fasting of 3 to 4 hours in between meal times. This in turn reduces the chances of giving into cravings because you're no longer making a decision every time an urge to eat strikes you. Remember, willpower drains as the day goes on, so the fewer times you have to make a decision, the better. But then what if at the meal times you binge so hard that you might as well have eaten junk throughout the day? That's where the last how part of European eating comes in. At your meals, prioritize having 1 palm-sized lean protein, 1 fistful of vegetables, and 1 cup of water first. After that, you can eat whatever you want without guilt. In fact, remember that you must eat without guilt. And set a timer to make this meal last at least 20 minutes without screens. Baby steps toward the 1 to 2 hour meals of the Europeans. But nutrition is not the only thing that helps thin Europeans. We all know that moving our bodies can motivate us to eat better. But we also know that hardcore exercising can derail weight loss by making you hungrier, which then causes you to eat too much or the wrong things.
That red velvet,
sweet spot between exercising and hunger. This again starts with the root, the why or mindset behind movement for thin Europeans. Here's a good story to show the difference. I used to row crew in Seattle, and so when I saw an 8 in the Tasia River, it caught my attention. But what really stood out to me was it was a mixed boat with men and women. In the US, it's always all men or all women boats. I commented on this to my friend who said, that's because it's actually recreational here. I felt my understanding shift on its axis. In the US, even when things are tagged as recreational, they actually aren't. The crew boats in the US were never mixed because it was still a competition. And this mindset bleeds into everything. Hobbies have to be monetized. Workouts have to be optimized. But in Europe, it's okay to be bad at a hobby. You don't have to constantly level up. You just do it because it's fun or part of your day. And that's why Europeans move more than Americans without even realizing it. But how do you shift from a clinical approach to exercise to a fun one? There are 2 things you do. The first is to integrate movement into your daily life in 3 ways. Instead of parking close to your building entrance, park far away and walk. Instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. Drive to a park close to you and go for a walk as many times a week as you can fit. And the second thing to do is to experiment with trying out sports you think you'd enjoy and do them with the mindset of not getting better at them, but just enjoying them. Optimize for fun, not performance, and keep trying until you find a sport you like. But breaking out of a restrictive mentality is just one shift. There are 4 more that you absolutely need to know about, which thin people practice without even knowing it. It's their hidden in plain sight secret. I break down what they are and the step-by-step process for you to practice them in this video here. Or if you want my help shortcutting through all the trial and error to cementing the root changes so you get to your goal weight quickly and forever, then learn more about my weight loss program in the description and comments below. And always remember, you can do it.
Yeah, this is a great motivational video, huh? And helpful too. Let you know some stuff that you can change. Even if you're in America, you can watch this video and be like, yeah, I can change some stuff and lose some weight if that's what you're trying to do. Shout out to Coach, what's her name? Coach Viva? Yeah, Coach Viva. Shout out to Coach Viva for, sending us that motivation. Y'all should go check out her channel if you guys want to get more information about losing weight and stuff like that, because that's what she said, that's what she does. But I know my problem. My problem is the sweet food and breads. I could just eat salad and stuff, but that's not fun. It's not fun. Let's be real. Eating salad all day and stuff, eating healthy isn't fun. But it's smart. Sometimes you gotta be smart and try to have fun and have pleasure. But, I'm gonna try something that she said. I'm gonna try to limit my sweet intake. So if I have cravings, if I have like 3 a day, I'm gonna try to act on 1 a day. Maybe 2 a day. Not 3 times a day. I'm gonna act on twice a day. If that don't change things, then I'm gonna do 1 a day. But I think I can do 1 a day. 1 craving, sweet craving, once a day. That's fine. Once a day, not too much. I'll be fine. But anyway, guys, let me know your problem. If you have a problem with, if you want to lose weight or if you, even if you are fit, let me know some constraints that might hold you back from reaching your goals. But y'all already know I'll catch you in the next video.